Please sit down, please. Last students, please sit down. Please sit down. Please close the door also. Main door, please close. Last windows also, please close down. AC is on. Please kindly close all the doors. Last window also. Last window. Last students, please be seated. Please be seated. If there is no seat, please go to fourth floor. Room number 1 and 2 and 3. Dear students, please keep silent. The class will start now. Professor Srikanth is coming to take up bankruptcy and insolvency. He will make you bankrupt now. So please listen to him very carefully. Last students, be seated. Last student, please send somebody there. We are last student. Kindly see that everyone should take seats. So silence is very, very important. Please kindly maintain silence so that all of you can listen to Dr. Srikanth lecture on bankruptcy and insolvency. It is a very important subject for you. And when you become bankrupt, how to escape from this provisions of insolvency law and bankruptcy? Because we are lawyers, we know how to escape and how to put others in trouble. Right? But don't do that. Only joking purpose I am telling you. Don't put others in problems and don't try to escape from the bankruptcy and insolvency law. Kindly pay the loans if you have taken properly. Pay back your installments properly. Don't become bankrupt and don't try to avoid in payment of your loan. So now I request Professor Srikanth to take up this class. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Good afternoon to all. Yeah. So I am dealing with insolvency and bankruptcy laws. So first of all, we have to understand the basic meaning of insolvency and bankruptcy. Now, even though these terms appears to be synonymous, in fact, they are not interchangeable. ஒரு டர்முக்கும் ஒரு டர்முக்கும் டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கும். Bankruptcy is different, insolvency is different. So let us analyze the basic difference between insolvency and bankruptcy. You know, normally in India, companies are functioning, corporations are functioning, individuals are there, limited liability partnership LLPs are there, unlimited partnerships are there. So many organizations are functioning. Right. Now they are registered under different acts. Now, coming to the meaning of this insolvency and bankruptcy, any individual, any corporation, any organization is unable to pay their existing debts as and when arise. For example, a company இருக்கு. One company has taken raw materials from another company. Right. Now, that company has asked this company to pay the money. That means the demand arises. That company is asking this company to pay the money. At that point of time, this company don't have money. That means it is only for a limited period. That means this company has become insolvent. Insolvent only in the context of unable to pay its current liabilities as and when it arises. You understand? It's a temporary situation. Today I may not pay you, but tomorrow I am going to pay your debts. That means I have become insolvent temporarily. That is known as insolvency. When an individual, when any corporation, when any organization is unable to pay its debts temporarily, it is said to be in an insolvent stage. It is only temporary. It can be rectified. Now, coming to bankruptcy, for example, company is there. Now what happens? For example, A company is there. It has taken raw materials from B company. B company came to A company, asked money, please pay me my money back. A company is telling, now I am unable to pay this money. Subsequently, B company tells you, okay, tomorrow you pay back the money. Now, this is going on for some period of time. Subsequently, A company was in a position not to pay the money. Right. Now what happens? B company is constantly asking A company, pay back my money, pay back my money. They are harassing the creditors. Right? They are harassing the debtors. These are the creditors. They are harassing the debtors. Now they don't have any other option. They will go and approach the courts of law to declare them as bankrupt. You understand? Unless and until court declares them as a bankrupt, it cannot be a bankruptcy. That means bankrupt is a order from the court. It's a sanction of legal order by the court that now, yes, you are bankrupt. Once court declares that person, individual, organization, or whoever it may be, then that becomes bankruptcy. Now they cannot go and ask money from a company. That means a company is protected under the order of the court. You understand the basic difference between bankruptcy and insolvency? Insolvency is a temporary state of situation which any person can undergo. Bankruptcy is a sanction of legal scheme by the courts. It's a sanction of legal scheme by the courts. This is the basic difference between insolvency and bankruptcy. Now you understood the basic meaning. Both are different terms. Insolvency is a temporary situation. Bankruptcy means you are going and taking the court's order. For example, one individual was there. Assume that one individual person was there. What happens? He has taken money from so many persons. Now, he was unable to pay that money. What happens to that person? Every creditor will come, ask you. They will threaten this person, you pay back my money. Then, what this individual is going to do? He will go to the courts, file IP petition, insolvency petition under Civil Procedure Code, under CPC. Who can go under CPC? Individuals can go under CPC. He will go to the court, file a petition, asking the court to declare him as an insolvent. Now, assume that this person has been declared as insolvent. Now, can the creditors go and ask that person? No. That means he has been protected under the court's order. This is first aspect. Now, this happens in the case of individual insolvency. Individual insolvency, you have to go file an indigent suit. Remember in CPC, pauper suit you have to file and you have to get the court's order. That means unless and until court gives you the order, you cannot be claim the protection under insolvency laws. Right. Now we have understood the basic difference between insolvency and bankruptcy. Both are applicable in case of individual insolvency, corporate insolvency, limited liability partnership, unlimited liability partnership, everything. Now, previously, there is no laws which governs this insolvency laws. ஒரு சட்டம் கிடையாது. First is Government of India Act 1935. It is the indigenous law which governs the insolvency. Firstல எந்த சட்டம் இருந்ததுன்னா Government of India Act 1935 is there. It is the law which is governing all these insolvency petitions. Right. Now, subsequently what happens is two acts has been enacted. ரெண்டு சட்டம் வந்து கிரியேட் பண்ணோம். One is Presidency Town Insolvency Act, Presidency Town Insolvency Act, and another one is Provincial Insolvency Act. Two acts has been subsequently enacted by the Government of India. What are the two acts? Presidency Town Insolvency Act, Provincial Town Insolvency Acts. Now two acts are there. They deal with individual insolvency, not corporate insolvency. These are the two acts. Now, this Presidency Town Insolvency Acts applies only to the presidency towns. In the presidency towns are yes, Calcutta, Mumbai, Delhi, these are the presidency towns. If you are staying there, you have to file under presidency insolvency laws. Apart from these presidency insolvency laws, right, Ah, happy is getting sleep. Afternoon, no. Right. Now, another thing is you can sleep after completion of your loss. Huh? You can sleep in the house. If you don't know the law, that is the only option left for you. Right. Next. So Presidency Town Insolvency Act applies to the presidency towns where you are living, you are going and filing a insolvency petition under Presidency Town Insolvency Act. Apart from this, if you are living outside the Presidency Town Insolvency Act, Provincial Insolvency Act will come into picture. This is the act under which you are filing IP petitions. Which act? Provincial Insolvency Acts. Right. Now, this pertains to individual insolvency. Individual means you are a single person, you are an individual. Now, coming to corporate insolvency, what happened is previously you can start a company. Anybody can start any company. You know how to incorporate a company by registering with the registrar of companies. You can register. Subsequently, if you want to close the company, you cannot straight away close the company. You have to go and file a petition in the respective high courts. If you want to close a company, you have to file petition under respective high courts under Companies Act 1956 and under Companies Act 2013. Now, Companies Act 1956 as well as 2013, it is the act which governs corporate insolvency. Right? These are the acts which govern corporate insolvency. Coming to individual insolvency, Provincial Insolvency Act, Presidency Town Insolvency Act. Coming to corporate insolvency, Companies Act 1956, Companies Act 2013. These are the two acts which govern this process. Now, subsequently, in the year 2016, a code has been enacted that is known as Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. It's like Civil Procedure Code. Enna CPC enna? What is meant by CPC? Civil Procedure Code. Whenever a suit has to be filed, you have to follow the procedure under CPC. Now, if you want to file a petition under this Companies Act or under this laws, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code will come into picture. That means entire paradigm has been shifted from these laws to now Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Now, this code will define the corporate insolvency. This code will define the individual insolvency also. You understand? Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 is the code which is going to define corporate insolvency, which is going to define individual insolvency. Right. Now, what happened? Previously, corporate insolvency has been adjudicated by the High Courts. 2013 Act, 1956 Act. Under Presidency Town Insolvency Act, Provincial Insolvency Act, who can adjudicate? Civil courts. Civil courts will adjudicate. Now, once this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code has come into picture, the entire adjudicating authorities has been transferred. Now, corporate insolvency has to be governed by National Company Law Tribunal. From there, you have to go to National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. From there, you have to go to Supreme Courts. These are the respective adjudicating authorities in respect of corporate insolvency. What are they? National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. From there, you have to go to Supreme Court. Now, this court has given one option. After enactment of this code, if any company wants to go for bankruptcy proceedings, it has to file the same under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Now, before this enactment of the code, so many companies are under Companies Act. Now they can go under respective Companies Act to the High Courts, or they can transfer their petitions to NCLTs. You understand? This code has given one option. If you want to go before company courts, you go to High Courts. If you want to transfer these petitions, now you can transfer your things under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Court to respective National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunals. These are the adjudicating authorities in respect of corporate insolvency. Right. Now, when coming to individual insolvency, civil courts are there. Now, this individual insolvency has yet to be notified. Yet to be notified. What is the meaning of yet to be notified? Anna enna? Yet to be notified anna enna? Still, the provisions has not come into picture. For individual insolvency, where you have to go? Now you have to go to civil courts only. Why? The provisions of individual insolvency has not been notified under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. You have to go to civil courts. Once this is notified, now the adjudicating authorities has been shifted. It has been shifted to Debt Recovery Tribunal, Debt Recovery Tribunal, Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal, then Supreme Courts. எப்போ இது notify ஆச்சுனா, once this individual insolvency pertaining to individuals has been notified in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, then what happens? The entire thing will be changed to Debt Recovery Tribunal and Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunals. Now, these are the respective adjudicating authorities. Now we have seen the meaning of insolvency, meaning of bankruptcy, what are the acts which govern insolvency, that is Presidency Town Insolvency Act, Provincial Town Insolvency Act, then subsequently Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, adjudicating authorities under both the acts. One is National Company Law Tribunal, another one is National Company Law Tribunal, then coming individual insolvency, Debt Recovery Tribunal, Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunals. Right. Now, under this code, certain regulators has been established. Regulators. What is the meaning of regulator? Who is regulator of Companies Act? Yes. Who is regulator of Companies Act? Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Regulator. They will regulate Companies Act. Right. Who is regulator of capital markets? SEBI. Who is regulator of banks? Reserve Bank of India. That means they will regulate the working of this. Now, for working of this insolvency and bankruptcy code, there is one regulator established that is known as Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board, IBBI, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So this is the regulator which governs insolvency and bankruptcy code. Right. Now, this will regulate the working of insolvency and bankruptcy code. Now, under this code, certain agencies has been established. Under this insolvency and bankruptcy code, certain agencies has been established. They are known as insolvency professional agencies, insolvency professionals, information utilities. Certain agencies to look after this process. Insolvency professionals, insolvency professional agencies, and information utilities. Right. What are the agencies? Insolvency professionals, insolvency professional agencies, information utilities. Now, for example, the company is there. Now, company wants to wind up, liquidation and wind up, insolvency, bankruptcy, liquidation, wind up. But again, liquidation is different, winding up is different. To understand the difference between liquidation and winding up, this pertains to companies. What is meant by liquidation? What is the meaning of liquidation? When the liquidation here, one company is there. Now, it wants to wind up. It will go to the court. It will go to the court, file a petition for winding up. Winding up. Winding up is the last stage. Liquidation is the first stage. Right. You go to the court. You file a petition in the court, telling the court that I am going to wind up my company. Then court says yes. Then what happens? The company has to hand over all the assets and liabilities. Company balance sheet whatever that has been mentioned in the balance sheet as assets and liabilities, it has to hand over to the court. That means they will hand over to the judge. Very good. Liquidator, official liquidator, or official receiver, or official assignee. Right. Official liquidator, official assignee, or liquidator, or whatever it may be. You have to hand over all the assets and liabilities to the person. He will be appointed in the court. Now, he will sell all your assets, then subsequently settles all your liabilities. Then what happens? He will inform the court that I have sold all the assets, I have settled all the liabilities. Company is still in working. You know why? company has been created by operation of law. Operation of law means what? It has been registered. You have submitted memorandum of association, articles of association. Company will give you one certificate. What is the certificate? Certificate of incorporation. That means company comes into existence by way of law. Now still company is in working. Once this liquidator submits statement of affairs to the court, then court says, yes, today onwards I am passing winding up order. That means company has been wound up. Immediate company kadayadinno. Now this official liquidator will file this order with the registrar of companies. You have taken permission from ROC, file this order passed by the company with registrar of companies. Then what registrar of companies will do? He will strike the company's name from the register of companies. Then company's existence comes to an end. Now company's life has been gone. This is the procedure. Here, who is taking over assets and liabilities of the company? Official liquidator under Companies Act. Here, new act, what happens is insolvency professional will be there. Under the new act, who is going to take your assets and liabilities? Insolvency professionals. Insolvency professionals. Now, who are insolvency professionals? Again, under the old act, advocates will be there who has completed LLB. They are in the courts. They will take over. Now, insolvency professionals means chartered accountant, company secretary, cost and management accountant, plus and straight away an advocate having 10 years of experience. Advocate having 10 years of experience and who has passed limited liability examination. Right. They can act as an insolvency professionals. Right. They can act as an insolvency professional. That means now they can conduct the insolvency proceedings in NCLT, NCALT. Previously, who is conducting insolvency proceedings? Official liquidator. Under which act? Companies Act. Now, who is taking care of your company? Insolvency professionals. Right. Now, straight away, you cannot become an insolvency professional. You are a chartered accountant, you are a company secretary, you are a cost and management accountant, and you are an advocate having 10 years of experience. Merely because you are having these qualifications, you cannot become an insolvency professional. You have to register yourselves with an agency, that is insolvency professional agency. Straight away మీరు ఇన్సాల్వెన్సీ ప్రొఫెషనల్ కారు. మీరు కావాలి అంటే ఏం చేసుకోవాలి? రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, యూ కంప్లీటెడ్ యువర్ LLB degree. If you want to become an advocate or lawyer, you have to enroll under Bar Council. Likewise, if you want to practice as an insolvency professional, you have to register under insolvency professional agencies. Right. Under insolvency and bankruptcy code. Then, who can act as their professional agencies? That means, under this code, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and Institute of Cost and Management Works of India. Right. These are the three agencies. If you are a chartered accountant, you enroll as insolvency professional under Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. If you are a company secretary, you register yourself as insolvency professional under Institute of Company Secretaries of India. If you are a cost and management accountant, you register under Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India. Right. Once you register, you enroll, you become insolvency professional, then you can become a panel member in the NCLTs. Right. Now, third category of agencies, they are known as information utilities. Right. They will assist these insolvency professional agencies in conducting this insolvency resolution process. Right. This is known as CIRP, Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process. Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process. Now, the main question is, whenever you are going and filing an application in the courts, straight away courts will never say liquidate the company. You understand the basic premise of enactment of this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Straight the company moves in and chappado. Insolvency resolution process. It tries to resolve the disputes between the company and the persons in the amicable way. First ఏం చేస్తుందంటే మాక్సిమం రిజాల్వ్ చేసుకోండి డిస్ప్యూట్ ని చెప్తుంది. రిజాల్వ్ కానప్పుడు మాత్రమే వైండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొసీడింగ్స్ వెళ్ళాలి. Straight away, no courts, no adjudicating authorities will tell. Straight away, what is called wind up or whatever it may be. This act has been enacted to settle your disputes amicably. We will resolve. Try to resolve. We will refer the same. These persons will come. Again, there is a big procedure is there. I will go into these aspects later on. So, as far as the thing is concerned, we will try to resolve so that your company will be a running concern. Once resolves dispute, your company will become running again once again. Maximum enna pandrom resolve pandrom. Resolve pannalanna, for example, you go for a divorce. Right? You go for a divorce. If you file a petition for divorce, what judge will say? He will say divorce once straight away. No, he will say go for conciliation. Counseling, first counseling, apra conciliation, apra divorce. He will say, why? Let us resolve. Straight away, these adjudicating authorities never be inclined to pass the final order. We will resolve. So what happens, even if you file a divorce for mutual consent also, what the courts will take? Go for conciliation. They will give some time period. When the time is 6 months time is ఎందుకు ఇస్తారు టైము? ఫ్యూచర్లో ఏమన్నా కలిసి ఉంటారేమో అనే టైం ఇస్తారు. కలిసి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. We will resolve the disputes. 6 months time is there. After 6 months you come. If within 6 months if you join, then your petition will be dismissed. Dismissed kaadu, they will pass some orders. Under this insolvency resolution process also, courts will tell, we will resolve your dispute. If this is not possible, then ultimately we will divorce the company. Divorce the company means liquidate the company. Now, the first and foremost thing under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code is, when going under the Companies Act 1956 or 2013, there is no time-bound manner. நீங்க ஒரு கம்பெனியை வைண்ட் அப் பண்ணணும்னா 1 வருஷம் ஆகலாம், 2 வருஷம் ஆகலாம், 3 வருஷம் ஆகலாம், 4 வருஷம் ஆகலாம். டைம் லிமிட் கிடையாது. ஹைகோர்ட்ல பிடிஷன் ஃபைல் பண்ணுவாங்க, சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் போவாங்க. So many things will happen. You will file a petition in the High Court. It will go on for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. By that time, this person will die. మనకి డబ్బులు రాదు, కంపెనీ ఏమో పోతుంది. Now, The first and foremost ingredient in this insolvency and bankruptcy code is this corporate insolvency resolution process should be resolved within 180 days. That's it. Then how many days they are going to adjudicate your dispute? 180 days. That's it. 180 days, everything will be over. If 180 days, it is not possible for 180 days, one time extension will be given of for another 90 days. Focus on 90 days. 180 plus 90. That's it. Then, if the insolvency resolution is not resolved, then what happens? Winding up order is passed. ఈ 180 days plus 90 days లో ఈ డిస్ప్యూట్ రిజాల్వ్ కాలేదు అంటే ఏం చేస్తుంది కోర్టు? వైండింగ్ అప్ ఆర్డర్ పాస్ చేస్తుంది. ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ రిజాల్వ్ స్ట్రైట్ అవే అగైన్ యు సీ until winding up order is passed. Who is taking care of the company? Insolvency professional. Unless winding up order is passed, who will taking care of your company? Insolvency once winding up order is passed, who will taking care? Official liquidator will come. So this is 180 days plus 90 days. If corporate insolvency is there, the first and foremost question enna yaar file panna petition? Who can go and file this corporate insolvency resolution process petition? You understand? யாராவது போய் கம்பெனி மூட சொன்ன கம்பெனில மூட முடியாது. Only certain categories of persons has been prescribed under this insolvency and bankruptcy code. Anybody cannot go and file a petition. Now, three types of applicants has been recognized under this law. One is financial creditors. Financial creditors. Second one is operational creditors. Third one is corporate applicant. Corporate applicant. Right. These three persons are entitled to file this insolvency petition. First one is financial creditors. Financial creditors means who? Who gave money to the company? Who gave money to the company? Maybe banks, maybe financial institutions are there. Yaar company kaas kudutalo, they are known as financial creditors. Right. Now, coming to operational creditors. Operational creditors means who? Means whoever supplies raw materials, whoever supplies goods, and whoever renders even services to the company also. They are known as operational creditors. Right. These are the three categories of persons who are entitled to file insolvency petition. Previously, corporate applicants. I will tell. Corporate applicant means workers of the company, employees of the company. They are also known as corporate applicant. Even sometimes, company itself may file a petition for winding up. Company itself. For example, you are working in a company, you have not received salary for 6 months. 6 months. You ask the company, please pay my salary back. The company says no. Previous law, what you have to do? You have to file a money suit for recovery of your money. Previously, enna pannano? Money suit file panni 6 months salary. You have to file a suit for your salary. Now, straight away you can go and initiate CIRP, Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process. You file a petition in the NCLT. This company has not paid me salary. Then they will issue notice to the company. This person has come to me. You are not paid a salary. What you want me to do? Whether you are going to pay the salary. Here also NCLT says, I am not going to wind up this company. Salary is a small amount. You pay that money, resolve the dispute, we will close the dispute. Then, if the salary is not paid, then they will pass an order for winding up, sell the assets, give the salary. Previously, this is a cumbersome procedure under the old act. Very cumbersome procedure. If some person takes money and goes out of the country, what is the procedure? We have to find that person, bring back that person, then file a money suit, recover the money if he has assets. Now under this act, very simple. For example, you know, Vijay Mallya is there. He has taken money and flew back to London. Right. Now he says, I am not going to come to India. Then they will say, you need not come to India also. We will sell your assets. We will sell your assets and we will realize everything. Straight away within 6 months, finish. One of my friends has purchased one car from Vijay Mallya for 50,000 in an auction. They will put in the auction. Vijay Mallya no రావాల్సిన పని లేదు, అక్కడే కూర్చో, ఇంగ్లాండ్లోనే ఉండు, మేమేం చేస్తాము, మీ అసెట్స్ అన్ని అమ్మేస్తాం, డబ్బులు తీసుకుంటాము. This is the act. So these three persons are entitled: financial creditors, operational creditors, and corporate applicant. Corporate applicant means employees, workers, even the company itself. These are the three entities who is entitled to initiate corporate insolvency resolution process. This is with respect to corporate insolvency. Who is taking over assets and liabilities? Insolvency professional. In case of corporate insolvency. Now, coming to individual insolvency, if it has been notified, who is going to take your assets means bankruptcy trustee. Bankruptcy trustee. Individual. Right. Who is the individual forum? What is individual forum? Debt recovery tribunal, debt recovery appellate tribunal. When these sections has been notified. These are the three entities. Now, there are certain criteria to be met. Financial creditors can initiate, operational creditors can initiate, corporate applicant can initiate. They can initiate corporate insolvency resolution process. There are certain criteria is there. Once they initiate this process, the adjudicating authorities will try to resolve this process. If not possible, then only we will go for winding up. Right? Remaining, we will see tomorrow what is the criteria for financial creditors, operational creditors. We will see in detail. You got something today? You got something today? Right, thank you. Dear students, kindly get inside. Within 2 minutes you have to be here. 2 minutes. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. I'll give you 30 seconds time. Find who is Hugo Grotius. H-U-G-O. You can use your mobile. H-U-G-O-G-R-T-I-U-S. Hugo Grotius. Who is Hugo Grotius? Take 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds. Tell me who is Hugo Grotius. H-U-G-O-G-R-O-T-I-U-S. Hugo Grotius. Father of Public International. Who said man idiot? This is not father of public international law or private international law. Hugo Grotius is a father of international trade law. Okay, he was a Dutchman and he's a lawyer and he's a writer and he's a very famous personality. Okay, so listen. If you learn international trade law, mark my words, you can succeed in your future. It's a very, very competitive field where you can shine like stars. So many aspirants choose only civil or criminal. Nobody interested to choose international trade law. But if you focus on international trade law, you can have a prosper and you can have a prosper life. Within 2 years of your internship in international trade law, you can earn money like anything, mark my words. Okay, now I tell you what is meant by international trade law. International trade law are the set of rules and customs for handling trade-related disputes across borders and cross-border countries. See, take for example, India is the major export and import of refined petroleum products. You all know that for every year, India is earning $7.35 billion in export. To have a smooth export and import, international trade law plays a very predominant role. Okay, what are the things India exports? Refined petroleum products and medicaments. Medicaments. What is meant with medicaments? Packaged medicaments, which is highly used for treatment. For what kind of treatment? For any kind of treatment, this medicage. We are the major supplier of medicines to foreign countries. And other, we export rice. India export rice. And India export what else? Milk. Who said milk? And India export rice and yes. Okay, so to have a harmonious trade, okay, international trade law plays a very important role. And in modern times, no country is self-sufficient and has to depend on other countries. Take for example the country Chile, a small country Chile, which is a major exporter of copper. And take for example the country Bolivia, is a major exporter of tins. But these two countries are still considered as underdeveloped countries. The countries like US and United Kingdom suppress those underdeveloped countries.
because they are rich in dollars. Recently, Russia has given an announcement. How many of you noticed? I don't know. If you want any crude petroleum, you have to pay not dollars, rather you have to pay in Russia money. What is Russia money? Huh? Rupee. Yes. Because Russia is considered as a developed country. So, for this kind of monopolistic rule, there should be some change. That's why the United Nations initiated GATE, that is General Agreement on Tariff and Tax, in order to deter and control all this monopolistic trade. You got me? And the underdeveloped countries generally export raw materials to more advanced countries and depend for finished goods. Every country has some. Kind of defects. Take for example Pakistan and African countries. These countries know they have rich materials, but they are suppressed by developing countries. But now India has gone all the problems. Now India is shining in the international trade. Okay. Take for example, on the other hand, the developed or advanced countries are depend on the underdeveloped countries for the supply of raw materials. Many underdeveloped countries, they have materials, but they have a high demand for raw materials. What are the things considered as raw materials? What are considered as raw materials? Huh? To finish up the products, there should be a raw materials. Unless and until those countries supplies raw materials, some kind of countries, they cannot finish up their goods. That's why this US and United Kingdom and Russia, Germany, they are keeping so many countries under their feet because they need their support. In order to avoid all these things, and another step, the United Nations taken WTO, called World Trade Organization. Okay, World Trade Organization considered as a backbone for international trade law. Because of World Trade Organization only, nowadays the international trade law functioning in a smoother way. Otherwise, there will be a war. You know how Sri Lanka faced a hell of crisis last year. Do you know why? China took over the control of Sri Lanka. How many of you are aware of that? China completely took over the control of Sri Lanka. That's why Sri Lanka unable to take up their head. Which means, what is the role of WTO? So the matter has gone to United Nations. United given a direction to WTO to sort out the matter in an amicable way. Okay, and there is a organization called UNICITRAL, UNICITRAL, called United Nations International Trade Commission on International Trade Law, which plays a very important role to sort out all kind of problems. And another institution called UNITROID, UNDROID, the acronym is UNITROID. The expansion for UNITROID is unification of private law. This institution acts as a independent organization which plays a very important role to sort out all kind of contractual laws. Because China gave money to Sri Lanka in order to take the control of India, not Sri Lanka. Because China want to take China want to attack India anyhow. They don't have any base to attack India. So they imposed some large sum of amount to Sri Lanka and they take the base in Sri Lanka. See how many hidden things are there. So if you become an international trade law arbitrator, you can shine like a star. Now what is the solution for Sri Lanka given by United Nations? What is the solution? You know, when I wake up, the first thing I read is Economic Times. You know why? Because the whole world is under the control of economy. Recently, China found a tact to attack their enemy countries, not through wars, through not bio war, financially attacking. Financially attacking. Many developed countries attacking neighbor countries through economy. See, every country has their own economic zone. Take for example India. India is a developing country or developed country? Still developing country. So many countries have an eye on India. That's why, you know why the US is supporting India? Why US is supporting India? Yeah, India has a great potential in IT sector. IT sector. And why United Kingdom also seeking help from India? Not about the population, because we have all sources. We have all sources in our country. Okay, that's why all the countries are having an eye on India in order to take the control, but we have a strong financial system. Our financial system is much stronger than any other country. So none of the country can shoot India. Okay, so next, the whole concept of international trade laws in under liberalization, privatization, and globalization. You all know about liberalization. What is meant by liberalization? Being independent in international trade, right? Being independent in international. Unless and until the country has liberalization, they cannot succeed in their trade and in their economy. And privatization. What is meant by privatization? Making government companies into private companies in order to increase their economy and also in order to increase their employment. Okay, next, globalization. What is meant by globalization? Our own product can be sold all over the world to capture the world market. How can you capture the world market? Through globalization. Date back to 1927, there is no a product called Coca-Cola. Now, the major shares with Coca-Cola and Pepsi because of globalization. How multinational companies are entered into India because of globalization. So remember this concept LPG. L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. These three things which controls and which supports international trade. And collectively, they are known by their acronym LPG. The balance of payment is a system of recording the economic transaction of country with the rest of the world over a period of 1 year. After imposing the concept LPG, our economy GDP has gone high. Do you believe that? How many of you are aware of LPG concept? LPG. Hey, as a law student, we should be master of everything, man. We should know everything. You should know world economy. General students, you are lucky that you are also having international trade law class. Huh? Not because of Maggie sir, because of our chairman sir and our principal sir. Okay. Look, they don't howl like animals, man. Don't howl. Usually, animal, we are sixth sense human being, man. Aim and objectives of ITL, so-called international trade law. What is the main aim and objectives of international trade law? Take down the notes. Take down. Tomorrow I will ask you questions. You should be ready to answer me. Now you have an idea about international trade law, right? What is international trade law? How many honest students are here? Raise your hands. Okay. Answer. Now you know, at least you can understand now what is meant by international trade law. Okay. Now take down the aim and objectives of international trade law. It helps to understand the dominant role. It helps to understand the dominant role of developed countries exploiting the developing countries. Take for example US, UK, Russia, Germany, and which country? Which country? Japan. Huh? Not Japan, China. And point number 2. It conglomerate, CONGLOMERATE. It conglomerate the finer version of international economic law. The word conglomerate means mixture of finer version, mixture. It conglomerate the finer version of international economic law. And objectives number 3. And it aims to solving the international trade disputes. What is point number 1? Aim and objectives of ITL. It helps to understand the dominant role of developed countries exploiting developing countries. And point number 2, it conglomerates the final version of international economic law. And point number 3, it's solving the international trade disputes. You can write blindly the main aim of international trade law is to solve the disputes in trade, international trade. You got me? And the most significant of international trade law based on two things. Point number one, jurisdiction. Point number one, jurisdiction. The main significant role of international trade law is based on two, namely jurisdiction and point number two, precedent. International trade law is based on jurisdiction and precedent. So the judgment will be based on precedent. So called it is a common law, like law of torts. You got me? Note down. The significance of international trade law is based on two things, namely jurisdiction and yes, and theories. Put subtopic theories. Before theories, I would like to give you one valid information. Have you ever heard about the word dumping? Dumping, D-U-M-P-A-N-G. Have you ever heard? It is an international word, dumping. Dumping means, for example, in India, the price of Britannia biscuit is rupees 10. For example, India wants to export Britannia biscuits. It is Britannia biscuit. Is it Indian company? Yes. No, it is not Indian company. Okay. Take Parle G. Parle G. Okay. I'll give you the exact explanation for the dumping. Take Parle G biscuits. In India, the manufacturer or the owner of the Parle G can sell the biscuits for 5 rupees. But at the same time, if he sells that biscuit to China or US for 3 rupees, then it is called dumping. Here, who is a benefit? Who is a beneficial? Parle G or a person who receives that biscuits? US, not India. See, in the year 1965 or between 75, Africans were exporting their food to neighboring countries. The same thing happened to African. You know what had happened? The whole African countries, they shut their agricultural land and they migrated to another land. Within 2 years, their economic zone completely dropped out because of dumping. This is the real meaning of dumping. For example, India is a major exporter of rice. Per quintal of bag, India has to quote, for example, 1,000 rupees. If they quote less than 1,000 rupees, our farmers will die. They will commit suicide. But if suppose India is signing in some treaties to give the quintal of bag for 900 rupees, then who is the loser? Who is the loser? Our farmer is a loser. So, in order to avoid this dumping system, the WTO has taken an enormous step to deter this kind of activities in order to flourish in international market. Okay. Next, theories. Theories. The theory is based on two principles. The theory is based on two principles called lex mercatoria. Lex, L-E-X. Lex mercatoria, M-E-R-C-A-T-O-R-I-A, mercatoria, which means the merchant is the merchant on land. Lex mercatoria means merchant takes place on land. Okay, the another principle number 2, lex maritima, M-A-R-I-T-I-M-A, lex maritima. It is a Latin term called merchant on sea. Les mercatoria means merchant on land, which means exports through land, and les maritima, which means exports through sea. Note down. Take explanation for lex mercatoria. Explanation. Take explanation for lex mercatoria. It is a Latin expression for a body of trading principles. Les mercatoria is the Latin expression for a body of trading principles used by merchants throughout medieval period. Actually, this theory originated from medieval period. Les mercatoria and les maritima. Okay. It is the Latin expression for a body of trading principles used by merchants throughout medieval Europe. It means merchant law on land. Les mercatoria means merchant law on land. What are the laws applicable to merchant on land? This principle, which means les mercatoria principle, is based on equity and natural justice. Equity and natural justice. What is meant by equity? What is meant by equity? Yes, and natural justice. And next, lex maritima. This refers to a body of oral rules, verbally, oral rules, customs, and usage. This is mainly applicable to navigation and maritime. What is meant by navigation? Mostly sailors. It is applicable to sailors and shipments, cargo, shipments. This will be applicable to cargoes. Okay. And it means law for the merchants on sea. Okay. Within this, I would like to conclude today's session. Okay. Hey, you should change your attitude, my friend. In political party, you are clapping. The country has gone. Everywhere clapping, man. Bring some change. Realize, man, you are all sixth sense human beings. Okay. You must react in a right way. Okay. Once I visited, see, listen, I would like to tell you my experience. Once I visited a tribal community people called Thodas. You know, have you ever heard about Thodas? In Ooty. Okay. They gave me a very warm welcome. Very warm. They gave me such wonderful hospitality, completely astonished and mesmerized by their hospitality. Then I was realizing we are living in urban and we don't know any kind of things like hospitality and giving accommodation to strangers. But the people who lives in forest, who lives in abandoned area, they are much better than us. They are not educated. Seriously, they are not educated. You know, the way they dress up now, you will be wondering. Still, they are wearing some leaves in and around. But culturally, they are good. Civilized. Very good. That's for the word. Civilized. More civilized. They never whistle. They never worship heroes. Heroes. There is no hero worship. Like you give Pal Abhishekam to Vijay, Ajit, Rajini, Kamal. Nothing like that. Realize, man, within 3 months you are going to be an advocate. You are the king. You are going to rule the society, man, because you are considered as a social engineer. You are going to rule your own world. So be unique. விடிய விடிய ராமாயணம் சொல்லி ராவணனுக்கு சீதை change, man. Appreciation means fine, but don't clap often, man. See, I cannot differentiate whether you are appreciating me or you are trolling me. Okay, so within this, I would like to wind up today's session. Girls, you can leave. Yes, yes, please wait. Please wait. I'm sorry.